up, guys? We are in downtown Spokane, getting ready for our second night of shows for the great Rachel Feinstein. This is the second leg of my comedy road trip, and it's going fun so far. Going fun. That's what it is. It's going well, I think. I had a couple shows in the greater Salem area, and then went up to Portland to meet up with a friend, Brent Lowry. Shout out to that guy. Always hooking it up with shows. Did a couple mics, saw some performers. Adam Passy getting ready to do a special. So excited for him. And told myself I was going to drive 4 hours to Kennewick. I was going to make it to Washington, starting my drive at midnight, 12:30, and that did not happen. Now, I stopped at the Hood River, which was gorgeous. It's a small little town in the woods, and it's on a scenic highway, Highway 84, as you go through some of the mountains. But because you're on the river, it's just an easy, smooth drive, and it's gorgeous. I slept in the Walmart parking lot, which to some people might be kind of weird, but it was quiet. It was nice. It was warm. It was like 50 degrees. Even at night, it was only in like the lower 40s or something. I slept like a baby. I got a sleeping bag and a comforter, so I don't know what I was doing. And then I ended up driving all the way to Tri-Cities, where I hung out, and then a north trip to Spokane. So lots of driving yesterday, and it made for a late evening on top of that. So it was fun, man. Spokane Comedy Club had some hot crowds. I was very excited for that. I was, a tiny bit nervous. First time performing a full weekend like that, and I could tell I was a little stiff, but I got really into the flow by the end of it, and my second set was great. So no complaints here, man. It's funny being in a green room with a comedian you've liked for so long. Like, it's not like I'm starstruck by any means. They're just a human, but I want to ask a lot of questions because I want to learn, but I also don't want to be that guy, which it's hard not to be when you're like the newest person. So she's like the nicest person on the planet. She found out I had a girlfriend, and she's like, show me pictures. So now she loves my girlfriend. She's never met her, but she's like, oh, you have a dog? I respect you more. I'm like, cool, that's all I needed. My girlfriend just adds to the street cred, so she's half the reason I'm successful. Yeah. It's funny in my head because I know Rachel hangs out with all these comedians that I also like. In my head, I'm just like, I want to say all these wild things. I just want to be goofy. But in reality, that would just make it a weird situation because we have to spend the whole weekend into Monday together, so I got to be kind of chill. I just want to be like, is Chris DiStefano gay? Is he gay? Tell me. But I don't care. He does whatever he wants. How long have you been doing comedy? How was that? Was it hard? Yeah, I'm not going to be that guy. But I want to, but I'm not going to. Maybe if I didn't use that voice, maybe that would help. Yeah, it's not the cocaine-fueled alcoholic bender that was, described to me by the many comedians from years past. No, instead it's very much the getting work done, doing everything I can to be the best business person possible, being very sober. I don't want to drink this trip because that just means I'll be dehydrated when I wake up in the morning, and I'll have to pee a lot. And I have nowhere to pee when you sleep in a van. It's kind of a... yeah, I could go to the grocery store like 7:30 in the morning, but no one wants to do that, and I don't want a headache. I'm trying to be good. Maybe a drink. That loosens me up on stage. So after the show, our late show started at 10:30, so then after the show, I wasn't going to go to bed till like 12:30, so it's past midnight. It's the next morning, technically. And if you don't realize this, if you're in a city, it's very hard to find places where you can legally park. Technically, you can park on the street, but that's kind of sketchy, especially if the only available parking that's free overnight is downtown. There's always cops going around, and they might check in on you, which is not a good look. Or someone's just going to break into your car. Walmart parking lots have always been a place where you're allowed to park overnight for free. I'm sure there are some that don't let you do it, but for the most part, they do. That's why I did it 2 nights prior. So last night, I didn't think anything was going to be any different. I decided to go to the Walmart in the city because it's closer to where I want to be in the morning. I want to go to Planet Fitness so I can shower and get some sort of exercise throughout this trip. And so I end up driving around and getting to that destination at 1. And I'm having a hard time sleeping because in Spokane, unlike Northern Oregon, it is so much colder. So I had to put on my like propane heater inside the van, which is a big no-no. That is something that could explode in my face. But I did it anyway because I was so cold. I kept the vent open. That's why we have a vent. So now I'm thankful for the vent that I have, the hole in my roof. I was complaining about it earlier, but I'm glad it's there because it might have saved my life. I turned the heat off once I started getting dizzy. I'm like, I can smell the propane. I think I should turn this off. I'm advising you not to do this because this might be my last video if I keep it up. I might not do it tonight because that was sketchy. Anyway, I'm trying to go to sleep, and I'm so close to drifting. I'm like on the fucking precipice of just like boobies and cheese and heaven. I like how those are the first two things that come to mind. Boob cheese. And I hear this loud music getting closer and closer to my van in this abandoned parking lot. There's maybe 2-3 other cars. I can tell some other person's camping as well, and they're like, not SUV even, it's a sedan. And I hear something dragging on the car, so I'm like, oh, this is going to be a sketchy dude. He's like slowly dragging towards me. Like, he wants to kill me. This is the first time in my life where I've slept in my van. I've done it a dozen times now where I was like scared for myself. So I took out the axe. Okay, it's not an axe, it's a hatchel. But I took it out. I was just like, okay, it's go time. And then I look out, I like kind of peer out the little curtains that like cover me and make me protected in the back of the van. And it's, I kid you not, a dude doing donuts in the parking lot in a dump truck. A literal dump truck. He's just doing figure eights, and he's blasting music, and he's just going around the pillars. And every so often, he gets like 2 inches from my van at like 30, 40 miles per hour. And he's like, no. I'm like, I'm not going to sleep. And I'm likely going to get hit by a dump truck. It's like, if it was a car, you know what? I can't even convince myself. Even if it was a car, I would have gotten out there. So instead of being a cool guy and yelling at someone, I just got out. I was like, I got to go. So then I went to the Safeway like 2 miles away. But the Safeway had all these signs that said, like all these towing services. So I'm like, I don't want to get towed. There's a giant little police scanner with big flashes. I bet they don't want anyone loitering or parking there. Across the street is the Planet Fitness, though, and it's 24/7. So in my head, I'm like, at the very least, if someone like knocks on my door, I can be like, I'm going to go work out. I'm literally about to do that, so shut up. It's like 3 a.m, but, you know, whatever. And hard time sleeping because it's a little more, it's like, again, closer to downtown, so there's more going on. It's like Spokane had people like I swear to God, drag racing on these side streets at like 3-4 a.m, so it was a late morning for me. I ended up sleeping till like 10:30, which is totally fine. I needed to catch up on some sleep. Then right to the Planet Fitness, $5. You can stay for the day. 24 hours you can stay for $5. I thought it was going to be like $20, $30, and I was going to pay that because I'm like, that's still cheaper than a hotel. So I was pretty excited. So I'll probably go back tomorrow, shower again, because I hadn't showered since Wednesday. So I'm smelling good, dude. I'm smelling great. Oh my God. I feel better. And then I got some chicken fried steak. That was my adventure today. Waking up in a parking lot, changing, going to Goodwill, which was a waste of my time. You know, some Goodwills are terrible. Other Goodwills are amazing. There is a Goodwill outside of Seattle. I want to say it's closer to Everett, where like the Boeing factory is. And it's so big that they do clothes and electronic items by the pound. There are just dozens of bins like throughout the whole giant warehouse. And you get to, like, for $1, maybe even 10, 20 cents a pound, depending on what you're looking at, you can just like rummage through stuff. And for the most part, it's like me, friends, and then like all these Hispanic moms who are just trying to get a deal. And they're aggressive, even though they're short and what you think to be like Gentile's not the right word. I guess they're not going to be Jewish, but I wouldn't know. Anyway, all these moms are rough and tough. Like they're going to knock you out for a deal. And they probably deserve it more than I do. So, yeah, that Goodwill sucked. There was none of that. There was a lot of camo cargo shorts. It was a very 2005 vibe in Spokane, which I don't mind. I like that music sometimes. I don't like that fashion. Ed Hardy, Dane Cook, yes. Nickelback, yes. Yes, dude. I'm into that. Not all of it. Some of it, though. I have no shame. I don't care what you think. Look at me, I'm smiling because I got a shower today. And I had such a good meal. I went to Frank's Diner. I got to shout out them too. That was such a good place. It's a small, it reminds me of the East Coast because we have diners all over the place, and they're usually like old school cable car diners, like an actual train little thing. And Frank's Diner is literally that. And I just sat at a crowded bar eating fucking toast and hash browns and eggs and gravy smothered steak, and coffee just wouldn't stop. And yeah, it was good. And this is me drifting. This is me just in that heaven. And then I ended up going to the library, which totally changed the mood because it's above the transit authority of Spokane, and there's a lot of bus people there. I was a bus person, and I got judgy, but I shouldn't. I shouldn't get judgy because I'm sleeping in my van at the Walmart parking lot. I'm basically the people that are hanging out at the transit authority. Mostly homeless, people on drugs. I immediately went to the bathroom because I had to take a pee at the urinal. The guy next to me was jerking off in the urinal, which I'm not saying I'd do it, but hey, good for you. You're not doing it like literally in the lobby of the transit authority. He just kept saying, give me that pussy, give me that pussy. Maybe something about the soap that was in the urinal. The soap cake is what turned him on. That stuff's fun sometimes. Yeah, soap cakes and jerking off in the urinal, fun sometimes. This is Loose Cannon Nick. This is Hatchet. This is Hatchet Nick. Does this mean I'm like a juggalo? Because I'm basically, I'm like kind of like the guy. Like I'm like the sticker. Like, but I don't want to be associated necessarily. Someone was like, you should have the sticker on your van to keep away people that might not want to, like, so people aren't as likely to approach you when you're trying to sleep in the city. And I was like, I just don't want other juggalos to think I'm one of them. Not that I hate them. I'm going to be like, oh, I left my clown makeup at home. You know, I don't want to be forced to put that on. I don't think this hatchet is, wow. You get this in someone's head, that's going to hurt, but it's very dull. This is what I use to protect myself. And maybe a pocket knife or two. So now we are parked in downtown. My meter's about to run up. I gotta find another freaking cafe to go to kill some time, maybe do some work, catch up. Tomorrow is the Super Bowl. We'll see if I do anything. I might go to a bar. I might not. I might, maybe someone lets me stay at their house. Maybe I beg the crowd to let me stay. I'm sure the comedy club would love that I tell them that they didn't provide me with housing. They would really appreciate that. I don't mind though. This is the reason I got this thing. So we could do this. We're making it happen. It's kind of fun. I told Rachel, I was like, because we're good friends, I can call her Rachel now. Just kidding. She was like, where are you staying? And I was like, I'm sleeping in my car. And she's like, oh, and you like that? And I was like, I guess I kind of asked for it, didn't I? And I was like, yeah, it's fine. She's like, are you sure you want to do that? And I was like, yeah, I'm not, I mean, it's not like anyone's getting me a hotel, so we're not, what is this conversation right now? She's like, okay. She was the nicest. Damn. So then after this show and these two shows tonight, Super Bowl's going to happen. Then we're here on Valentine's Day, one more show. And then I got to drive. I'll have work that Monday. It's going to be a normal work day. So I got to find some place where I can do like 4 hours of meetings and get some stuff done. And then after the show, which will probably end at like 9:30, 10, I'm going to head west somewhere where I can get a pit stop. Maybe just park off the highway or go to Ellensburg, way past the farms, right at the tip of the mountain, so that when I wake up on Tuesday, I can just freaking take the last 2 hours to get to Seattle. And I'll be able to sleep even just a little bit. Because then on Tuesday, I have a show in Tacoma, just hosting an open mic, but it's at a club I haven't really performed at much, so it's important to me. And then the next day, I have shows in like, I don't know what the town's name. It's like south of Salem, so I'm going to be doing 5.5 hours down to Oregon. So I'm going to drive to Portland that night after the Tacoma thing. And then Thursday, a little north. Friday, maybe Portland. Saturday, I'm going to be in Sherwood. Oh, dude. This is leg 2, and there's going to be 2-3 other legs after this. So all for just like free bar food. That's what I'm doing this for. I literally try to tour up the Pacific Northwest in my van just for hot dogs and chicken fingers and free vodka Red Bulls. That's why I do this. This is why it's important to me. Some people want to be famous. Some people want to, be the best comedian they can be. They want to be the funniest guy on the planet. And I'm just like, funniest guy on the planet is SpongeBob. So it's like you can't even... Where do you think you rank with SpongeBob? 20 seasons? 23 seasons? You think you got SpongeBob? Yeah. Anyway, he's not a man, but it's fine. He's just my idol. And so I'm doing it for food, for bar food mostly. And these videos for you guys. And when I say you guys, I mean like the 3 people that might listen to half of this. So I might be just talking to the abyss, but that's fine. I got to practice. Because half the time, people aren't listening anyway when I'm on stage. That's what ends up happening. So that's not true. People listen, but they're not happy about it. I'm trying to lean more into that dad energy that I have, because it's just who I am as a person. We'll see how well that translates on stage. Spokane's fun because the crowds are a little more conservative, but they're not aggressive about it. They can take a joke. They appreciate a joke. A little bit older of a crowd than I'm used to, but I also like that because I'm trying to be a dad. So they're like, I'm a dad. This guy fucks. They probably don't say that when they see me. They're like, this guy definitely doesn't do that. That's fine. Oh my God. Now what? Now what are we going to do, guys? It's just you and me. Together. I'm going to film a TikTok right now, so. Alright, that was part dose of this podcast. I'm going to clip this up so that it seems like one nice thing. Maybe have some cool fades. I keep saying I'm going to show you the van, and I kind of did, but I don't know why I'm not doing it, but I'm not. Alright, guys. I'll see you, I don't know when, but let's redo that. Boop. Alright, guys. I will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. What's up, guys? It's about 8:20 in the morning. I'm in Hood River in the mountains of Oregon. Drove about an hour and a half outside of Portland east towards Spokane. We are headed to our next show at the Spokane Comedy Club. It was a great time last night. We did 2 shows, decent crowd. Shout out to Ty Boyce for having me up there. And then went to Portland to do a mic with Brent Lowry, the infamous. And then went and saw Adam Passy work on a set, so it was pretty fun. Got to meet some new people again, as usual. And now I'm in the Walmart parking lot. Slept pretty good. It was chilly, but the Paramore songs kept me warm, So I'm gonna brush my teeth. I'm gonna get some McDonald's, and we are going back to the home state, our favorite, Washington. Oh yeah. So thought I'd let you know that I didn't die, and that life is good. The sun is great. It's keeping me warm. High of 60, but low of 37. Might see some snowy peaks. I'm glad I found this Walmart in the middle of the woods. The best kind. Alright, see you guys. Hey everyone, what's up? My name's Nick Dundas. Welcome to another episode of Van Candy. Not sure what episode we're on, but welcome to the van. I am driving to Salem, Oregon for a couple shows, and then heading from Salem straight to Spokane the next day for more couple shows. I'm gone for the next 5 days on the road, but I will be sleeping in the van, so more footage to come with what that looks like. Anyway, the reason I'm yelling is because I don't have any headsets or microphones for you guys, so you might be hearing the road. Clearly you're going to get all the jiggling, but yeah, it's go time. We're making the dream work by driving around aimlessly. There's an aim. I shouldn't say that. There's an aim. But I am alone, and it's fine. I do have to pee, though. it's been only 40 minutes and I already have to pee. I was like, I'll wait 3 hours and that's when I'll eat or something. And it's already past that, so, oh great. Okay. What day is it? It's February 10th, which means we are approaching Valentine's Day. I will be missing Valentine's Day with my girlfriend. She was not happy. She expects a plan no matter what, even if I'm not there. So I gotta make something happen. Maybe I'll send her some flowers. We'll definitely do something the next week. God damn. It just reminds me of the very first Valentine's Day we spent together. It was 5-6 years ago. And we had just started dating. I was really into Rihanna, so I thought to myself, what would be the best gift I could get my girlfriend? What would be a romantic gift? That's right, a dildo. I'm gonna make it, it's gonna be a spicy, funky, oh yeah, she's not gonna see this coming Valentine's Day. And I thought, let's get her a bigger one. Then I was like, no, then there would be too many options. I don't want anything bigger than me because that would be a cuckold. But anything smaller than me would be a very, very shitty present. So I thought, what would be the best thing to do? Oh yeah, on Amazon for $20, you can get a mold of your own penis. That's right, you can make your own cast mold with this clay solution. So I ordered it. The problem was when I ordered it, it came on Valentine's Day, and my girlfriend was either at work or coming. So I had to expedite the process that normally takes anywhere from 5 to 10 hours, depending on how long things settle. And I was cutting corners. I was doing things very quickly and rapidly, not following all the instructions. You're supposed to put like room temperature water in with the clay solution so that it turns into this hardened cement once it goes around your penis. And to expedite the process, I used boiling water, figuring that it would cool off by the time I mix everything and get a hard-on. So after literally 10 seconds on BigBootyLatinas.net, I put the clay solution on my penis, and as you can imagine, lots of scalding, lots of screaming, so much screaming that my roommates all came in a hurry, and then they started screaming. So it was, lots of screaming, except for one roommate who, no joke, was just like, do you have any extra? And I was like, I have a lot of extra because my penis went flaccid immediately. So now my girlfriend, this is true, has a dildo with my flaccid penis. It's of my flaccid penis. It even has a little vibrator in it. And she sometimes wears it as an earring. It's kind of fun. That's how small it is. I don't think anything tops that. I don't know. I think I remember I tried a second year and then couldn't even get it then. It was like, I still have some of the solution, I think. Maybe I was too afraid. Something happened. I am excited for these next couple days though, doing longer sets, opening up for bigger names, networking with new people, always a good thing. I'm finally using the van for its intended purposes and not for just yelling at pedestrians as I drive in the town of Ballard. Now I'm using it to sleep. People make fun of me. They're like, why'd you get a van? Why don't you have a car? I need a ride. I'm tired of not being able to get a ride because you only have one other seat. I'm like, what's so great about the van? I'm like, you can sleep in it. And when I said that out loud to a friend at a party, he pulled me aside and was like, hey man, say other stuff. Literally say anything else and you'll come off cooler. Like, stop trying to be a dad. And I'm like, I'm not trying. It's just happening. You know, it's unfolding in front of you. He's like, say you can invite women over. Even if you have a woman, she can be that woman that you invite over. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool because you can go camping. And I'm like, but camping is sleeping in a different place. And he's like, it doesn't matter. And I don't know. It's funny when I have my friends, they think I'm really dorky, and I am. I'm not questioning it. In fact, I take pride because that's just who I am, and I'm not going to change that. And anyway, I'm tired of all these cool people. There's too many cool people, I think. And sometimes it's not as fun. So being a dork is nice because it offsets things. But also, it goes hand in hand with just being a flamboyant white guy. Like, I have my friends that are like, Nick, why do you act so white? And I'm like, I'll do it. Do you want me to do a Chinese accent? I'll do something else. And they're like, no, we don't. And I'm like, good. Then let's stop. Let's be normal. Let's be, normal. Let's be me, is what I meant to say. The hetero, white, normative mindset. Forgetting that you are just one of many people. The last couple podcasts we recorded were with the other Parlatrix guys, Van Candy, playing video games. Those are really fun. Unfortunately, our most recent episode will not be available on Spotify or YouTube because the video footage we used to record our gameplay it didn't render, and it just was pixely images, and it's no fun to watch without knowing what we're doing, and it's also no fun to listen to because half of it is us just screaming at things unless you can see what we're seeing. Not good for the Spotify, so hopefully I can squeeze in a couple of these podcasts as we're on the road, and hopefully you guys can hear me. Right now this could just be and that's fine. That's what this podcast is all about, being different. As I've said in the past, this theme of the podcast changes very often. And the peeing still needs to happen. I don't know if you guys know this, but when you have to pee, it doesn't just go away until you pee, which is fine. What I'm most interested to see, and the word is interesting because I'm not excited, is to see how the pass fares from Oregon. So if you're familiar with the Washington area, there's east and western Washington, and it's divided, although not centrally, by the Cascade Mountains. And for those of you who aren't familiar, those mountains are not only super steep, but get very hectic, dangerous, and snowy, as you can imagine at this time of year. So there's times where you can't go without snow chains, even if it's 20, 30, 50 miles. There's times where you can't go at all, and it's closed for weeks at a time. It was early January, because there was so much snow even on the west side. So coming from Oregon, I can't imagine it's going to be any different, but right now the weather's much warmer. And hopefully that leads to a safe drive late at night. I'll decide tonight whether or not I go early in the morning or late tonight, at least halfway to my destination of Spokane. This is going to be like a 4.5 hour drive. It's going to be another 6.5 hours to Spokane. So buckle up, folks. We got some fun adventures ahead of us. The more I do comedy, the more people I meet that have been doing it for well over a decade and have plateaued for half of that time, in that that's not their full-time job. You'll meet some of the funniest people on the road who open up for some amazing names, but that's just it. They're opening up for those names still and haven't found that opportunity. And it has nothing to do with not them trying hard or being funny. Again, these are some of the funniest people you meet. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of these people. But that's just the game. If you don't get that string of luck, if you don't do this certain thing in this time configuration, you may find yourself just either on the road or opening up for the same clubs over and over again. And the more dudes I meet in their mid-30s who have been doing this for a long time, the sadder they get. They always say it's not a viable career and it's just so tough. And I knew that coming in. But the reality sets, the more you literally see people face to face, you see the sadness in their eyes. They're mostly just baggy eyes. I think that's sadness to me. The sadder it is, the heavier the weight. We're getting close to Olympia right now, just FYI, if you want to know my location. In case there's a murder, I have a recording of myself entering Thurston County at 1 o'clock p.m. February 11th. So, come on, baby. I'm on the van. In the van. My grammar is great. Yeah. So I keep seeing more people, and I want to connect with them more. I want to have opportunities to work with these people. I want them to succeed, because then there's more hope for me. There are so many moving parts with comedy. It's not just about being funny. It's about networking. It's about committing to certain clubs and growing there. It's about writing so much more than just jokes, but sketches and videos, especially if that's your passion. If it's not, it just helps. Doing podcasts. Selling yourself. Oh, that's the toughest one. Because it's like almost discrediting your originality. You just got to do more of a tap dance than you want to. And rather than doing it for a TV network, which is rare and also slightly outdated at this point, you're doing it on an online platform that sees billions of people every day. So, again, The cards are stacked against you. But I have this obsession and this desire and the support from many of my friends and colleagues. So I find it, even with all this rational thought, I still have this irrational belief that there will be success. And I don't see it as irrational as I say it that way. I see it as destined, I guess. You just got to keep going. And this is what happens when you listen to Nipsey Hussle for 2 minutes. You're just like, I can do anything. Nipsey said I can. He said it's a marathon, and by the time you start realizing where you are, it's easier to get to the destination than turn around back where you were. Love that. Love that, Nipsey. It's a bit nippy. It's a bit Nipsey. The last Nipsey. What a name, dude. And that hustle. That's also the reason why I like Big Sean. He's like that number 4 on the top 3 rappers list. You know, he kind of gets overlooked because Kendrick and J. Cole are just so good. But Big Sean, that guy, what I like about him is that he always talks about working hard. He also talks about ass and getting with girls. So does every rapper. But as cheesy as his lines may be, it's like, is there anything I can't do except not do it? Something like that. I can't not do it. I love that. I gotta do it. He's just in the zone. Nipsey and Big Sean are like my biggest inspiration. Kobe also. Yeah, listen to some Nipsey Hussle. This is what you gotta do. If you want to be inspired and you want to get that new PR at the gym, if you want to get that better set at the club, if you're trying to reach out to that girl, if you're trying to start that business, watch clips of Kobe Bryant on silent while you listen to Nipsey Hussle quotes and podcasts and life advice. Your dick will grow 2 inches. Mentally. Your mental penis will grow. The physical one, I can't promise you anything. I've tried and it hasn't worked. If anything, it's gotten smaller. But still. Nipsey. Goddamn. R.I.P. And I'm obviously not an OG. I started listening after he passed away. I'll be honest. I wasn't about that life. I was swayed by those who were on sway, although Nipsey was also. I don't know about you guys, but I cry at least once a week on my own. It's never like I'm crying because something bad happened in my life. Like, oh, someone I know died. I'm so upset about it. Fortunately, I'm crying because I'm thinking of emotional things that excite me. I usually cry when I get really excited and passionate about something. Or I'm watching a movie and then I start leading into the sadness. Often if I want to cry, I just start watching like Steve Harvey videos where he gets surprised on his birthday. The dude came from the hood, he came from nothing. And then when he gets a surprise with his family, he starts bawling his eyes out because he made it to the top. And that makes me cry. I love that underdog story. Soldiers returning home to their dogs, not to their families. Boo. Boo that. It's the dog that makes me cry every time. So I lean into those things, and I like that feeling. I think it's an important feeling to have. It makes me feel human. People think, wow, you're a sociopath. I'm like, that's the opposite of a sociopath, is if you cry, even if it's on purpose. But what happens is sometimes I listen to a song that really gets me going, and I have this fantasy of doing something either heroic or really achieving my dreams. It's almost always just stand-up related, or even beating someone in a race. It doesn't matter, and it makes me tear up. That's how excited I get. And for the longest time, I wasn't able to harness that energy. I've been doing it forever. So in high school, track meets, competitive ones, I'd listen to music and get in the zone, and it'd make me teary, and I'd be like, yes. But then I'd start thinking about something unrelated to the race. It would almost distract me. These emotions would get the best of me, and I would race terribly. Also, I'd stay up the night before. Also, I wasn't that fast. So there's a lot of other factors. So if anything, it just was the cherry on the shit sundae. But now, when I'm at the gym, or even before a set, if I listen to the right song, it actually helps. It doesn't distract me. It's because I know what I want with my life, I think. The volunteering is just an expression of that. I don't know, it's kind of fun. It's like, like I was watching this TikTok. I don't know how true this is. There was this battle during the Korean War where the Chinese with the Koreans were doing a front, I think in South Korea, and there was this Filipino platoon, maybe 900 people or less, I don't remember, against at least 10,000 of this Chinese armada, and they won. Imagine being a 1-to-10 ratio and beating the enemy. They were like, oh, dude, that just got me going. And it was the song that played with the TikTok. It was just so badass. And I was like, oh! I pretended to be Filipino for 2 seconds, and then it got racist right away, so I had to stop. But the first, oh yeah, was just like, yes. You seek inspiration from anywhere. Mine is usually like intense. I like intense things. I like really loud music, aggressive stuff, which is funny because I'm not that guy at all. I'm the hetero bud boy. I'm the more passive person when there's a confrontation because I see it as a waste. The irony is I like it. Like I like it for different reasons. I like feed off of it energy-wise. So does that mean I talk the talk but I don't walk the walk? Probably. Silence is violence. I'm just saying random shit. I have like 8 fortune cookies on me right now. You guys don't realize it. And we are under the bridge that is near Tumwater. How exciting! No, it's not. We're right by the Port Angeles Aberdeen exit. Aberdeen, good times. Actually, I have had very little experience at Aberdeen. I've almost exclusively driven through that city. I maybe stopped for like an hour. They have a very cool Star Wars / Simpsons / Nirvana store. Pretty dope. They just have collector's items in an entire store of all those 3 things. Mostly Star Wars. Then second is Simpsons. Then a very far away third is like a little Nirvana shrine. You could buy half the shrine if you want, or whatever's associated with it. Downside of having a big ass van, the upside being there's a lot of fun excursions. There's a lot of room for activities inside and out. Is that the gas is terrible. My God, this is a 99, so I think it gets. I haven't done the math ever, but I bet it gets 16, like minimum. I bet it gets worse with time. I'm assuming that's how that works. I'm assuming that you buy something new. If I bought this in 1999, I bet it was 17, 18 miles per gallon. Now it's worse. I'm assuming. I don't know enough about cars to be driving halfway down the Pacific Northwest, but I am, so this is how we learn. Jeez. And there's a Fred Meyer. That would have been a good exit, but I just missed it. Darn it! Fun fact, Fred Meyer is owned by the same conglomerate, Kroger, which owns Safeway, so you can use... No. Maybe not. Sorry, I'm getting confused. Vons and Safeway are the same store. They have the Signature Select brand, and you can use your Safeway card at Vons. California just likes to be special, and it's stupid. As I've gone down the coast, back and forth, I'd like to think that the 3 states, Washington, Oregon, and California, are siblings. Washington is the older, more mature, but annoying, like, hipster sister. Like, no one... We leave her alone. She does her own thing. She's very secluded. California is like the hot 20-something youngest brother who plays lacrosse and had sex with the teacher, and we're all fine with it. On the surface, it's liberal, but in reality, it's not. He's rushing a frat and says the N-word, you know. And then there's Oregon, the middle child. The middle child who has like colored hair and burns anthills and says anything to get a rise out of you. Mostly anarchist statements, you know, like, yes, Oregon, I'm going to you, the middle child, the overlooked one, the one that needs the most love, but also could use some space. All right, well, I think with my thoughts, I'm gonna hang up on you guys. We're probably gonna show you the back of the van and what cooking looks like tonight. We're gonna try to park at a Walmart after the shows. There's gonna be a competition where we do comedy based on what the audience wants. They get to choose and we have to improv. And then just the normal headliner, feature, couple opener set somewhere else in Salem. So catch you on the flip side, guys. That was stupid. Oh, I don't talk like that. Goodbye.